Alert day. Heavy rain and ice headed our way. Tracy tells us what to expect, where and when.
This is new this morning. CPS announces plans to spend millions to add security cameras at hundreds of its schools.
Plus, it's Ash Wednesday, the start of Lent for Christians who observe it.
Live from Chicago's #1 news, ABC 7 Eyewitness News at 7 starts streaming now.
Top of the hour. Hey, everybody. Good morning. I'm Terrell Brown.
And I'm Val Warner. It's going to be a busy weather day.
Yep. Want to get right on over to meteorologist Tracy Butler. Tracy, what are we watching?
Okay, so we're watching some observations over in northwest Indiana. I've seen more and more reports of some freezing rain over that direction. So please be careful if you're over that direction. And even some of our southern suburbs, too, where we had some rain. There are some icy spots. And if you didn't throw some salt out on your patio deck or your driveway, you may want to get that done. Now, this afternoon, heavy rain is going to be likely. And we're going to really focus attention on freezing rain and sleet, especially north, maybe even far west suburbs and northwest suburbs too. This evening, precipitation slowly diminishes. Let's get into what's going on right now, because over in northwest Indiana, once again, from Gary over toward Michigan City, down toward Valparaiso, I've seen numerous observations reporting mixed precipitation. Let's check in with Roz and see what she is hearing.
Well, right now, we're seeing just wet pavement on some spots on the Illinois side. We've got more volume out there, and we're looking at 30 to 40-minute travel times. We also have this big delay here northbound on the Tri-State approaching the Reagan Tollway, I-88. That's because there's a crash there that crews are still working to clear. Right on the Oak Park, Chicago border, we're hearing of a possible rollover crash on Austin Avenue near North Avenue. We're seeing delays in all directions there, so I would avoid it for the time being. And speaking of Northwest Indiana, it's what Tracy was talking about, Storm Tracker Live, they went all the way past I-65. Now they're heading back, heading westbound, and we're seeing this steady rain falling across those portions of northwest Indiana. I don't have any crashes, we don't have any big backups, but it is a little bit slick, so just know that ahead of time if that's your normal route. Val and Terrell.
Yeah, it's going to be a day. Ross, thank you. We'll check back soon, 2 past the hour. Speaking of today, in about 2 hours from now, CPS will make a big announcement involving security at hundreds of its schools.
Jessica D'Onofrio is live at CPS headquarters with what parents, students, and teachers need to know.
Val and Terrell, CPS says this is a 3-year plan. The price tag just over $76 million for new security cameras at district schools. The district will make the announcement later on this morning at a news conference at Eli Whitney School on the west side, which got new security cameras last year under the plan. CPS says they will add and upgrade security cameras at 331 elementary and high schools throughout the city as part of its comprehensive safety initiative. The announcement comes just months after a high-profile deadly shooting outside Benito Juarez High School. Back in December, 2 teenagers were killed outside the school. At the time, police released surveillance photos to help them solve the case. Now back here live, the news conference will get underway at 9 o'clock this morning. Several top district officials are expected to speak about the initiative. Val and Terrell.
Jessica D'Onofrio live here downtown. Jess, thank you. This was breaking overnight. Chicago police say a 57-year-old man was found shot to death inside an insurance business at 61st and Western in the Chicago Lawn neighborhood. Happened shortly after 10 o'clock last night. Police say the victim had been shot in the head and that the business appears to be unoccupied. Witnesses told officers they saw another man running away from this situation. There's no word of any arrests. This is also new, a warning from Antioch police. There have been a recent rash of car burglaries. Video released overnight shows a crew breaking into unlocked vehicles. Police say at least one member of the crew looked to be armed with a handgun. So far, there have been around 15 incidents involving theft from unlocked cars.
Right now, Evanston police are searching for the hit-and-run driver who struck a business owner.
Yeah, police say the incident happened while she crossed the street at Chicago and Dempster. It was all caught on surveillance video. Here's Diane Pathieu.
The victim is a beloved business owner known in this community. Her family, friends, and even police are asking anyone with more surveillance video to help find the driver. The hit and run captured on surveillance video is from the corner of Dempster and Chicago. Watch as 53-year-old Yoon Park crosses the street and is hit by a left-turning vehicle. We've paused the video before impact. Park suffered serious head injuries and now, almost 2 weeks later, continues to need care. The family's attorney and police hoping others can come forward with more information and more video.
Although we do have that video surveillance, we could use more. So it's really important for the public's health. It's clear to us in speaking to the victim's family, local residents and business owners that she's very loved and cared for by the Evanston community.
Park is a longtime owner of a dry cleaning and tailoring business here, which is just south of where she was struck. Police say the vehicle involved is a small to mid-sized white SUV resembling a Nissan Rogue. The investigation into this hit and run was delayed because Park was unable to speak and no witnesses reported a crash. It wasn't until last weekend when Park's family came forward with surveillance video that the search for that driver began. Back to you.
All righty, Diane, thank you. Want to get to this update. A deadly crash in the south suburbs shut down the Bishop Ford Freeway during rush hour last night. The crash was at about 6 on the I-80-94 ramp in South Holland. Illinois State Police say the driver of an SUV was going the wrong way when it hit a semi-truck head-on and then hit another car. The driver of that SUV was pronounced dead. No one else was hurt. The family of a rideshare driver killed Monday night on the near west side is grieving the loss of a beloved son and brother. They got together last night to remember Milton Piacela Ayora. He was known and loved, of course, by his loved ones as Fernando. They say that he worked as a busboy by day, a rideshare driver by night. Fernando was stopped at a red light at Roosevelt and Blue Island when he was shot and killed on Monday. His 34-year-old passenger was hurt.
The mother of the victim was on scene. She said the victim called her at about 9:06 and stated that there was a gray SUV with 4 M1s, all wearing ski masks and black gloves, that pulled up, and they were the ones who shot him.
Police say the passenger was known to police but did not say if the shooting was targeted. No one is in custody.
President Biden meets today with NATO allies following an impassioned speech in Poland where he said Russia will never win in Ukraine. He's wrapping up a 4-day trip to Europe, which started with a visit to Ukraine. We've also learned that Russia has apparently carried out a failed test of a ballistic missile capable of reaching the U.S.
ABC's M. Nguyen is live from Washington this morning with more. M, good morning.
Terrell, Val, good morning. Yeah, defense experts say Russia's new ballistic missile is likely faster and more powerful than their old designs, though it is unlikely Russia will acknowledge their failed test that did come the same day President Biden was in Kyiv. This morning, as President Biden wraps up his 4-day trip to Europe, sources say the U.S. believes Russia carried out a test of an intercontinental ballistic missile capable of reaching the U.S. But it appears the launch failed. The test happening around the time Biden was in Ukraine Monday.
President Putin in Russia has been highlighting its development for quite some time. Specifically last year, about 2 months after the invasion of Ukraine, he was highlighting it as this most powerful weapon that would be able to defeat any American defenses.
The missile apparently able to carry 10 warheads and potentially travel farther and faster than old Russian designs. Sources say Russia notified the U.S. in advance of the launch.
So potentially maybe this launch was pegged to the big speech that he gave before the Russian Congress.
But Putin didn't mention the launch in his speech Tuesday, instead formally declaring that Russia will be temporarily suspending its participation in a New START treaty with the U.S., the last pact that regulates the 2 largest nuclear arsenals. News of the missile launch comes on the heels of President Biden's fiery speech in Warsaw, Poland, where he vowed the U.S. and its allies will not waver.
Ukraine will never be a victory for Russia. Never. And the United States, together with our allies and partners, are going to continue to have Ukraine's back as it defends itself.
Today, Biden meets with leaders from the Bucharest 9, reassuring those Eastern Flank NATO allies that his administration is on high alert for any threats that may be spurred by Russia's war.
When Russia invaded, it wasn't just Ukraine being tested. The whole world faced a test for the ages. All democracies are being tested.
President Biden is also expected to reassert to U.S. allies that NATO is stronger and more unified now than before Russia's invasion, before he heads back here to Washington later today. Terrell?
Got it. All right. And when in Washington this morning, and thank you for the update. The Chicago Elections Board opens 3 new early voting sites today. They're at Chicago State University, Northeastern Illinois University, and the University of Chicago. The hours are from 10 until 5 today through Friday. And hey, look, we got you covered on election night. Coming up Tuesday night, live streaming coverage right here begins at 7 p.m. abc7chicago.com or wherever you stream. And then look for updates online that night. And we'll have a complete wrap on the news at 10.
There are Ash Wednesday services at churches throughout the city and suburbs today.
Want to go out, take a look at what's going on right now? Holy Name Cathedral. Cardinal Blaise Cupich, Archbishop of Chicago, is celebrating Ash Wednesday Mass. This marks the beginning of Lent. Believers can also receive ashes at Union Station, Daly Plaza, and various L stations, also O'Hare and Midway airports.
All right,
Yeah.
time to give something up and reflect and do all that good stuff for a while.
What that's going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've tried a lot of things down through the years, unsuccessfully.
Right.
But thank goodness the good Lord forgives us.
Amen.
All right. You're live in local news. Just getting started as we stream out loud this morning. 150 million people on alert for severe storms. In one state, National Guard is supporting, and another state, workers are being asked to stay home.
But first, Tracy's got your AccuWeather forecast that's on the way. She's tracking that heavy rain and possibly the ice that's on the way.
Now to that wild weather from coast to coast today. 150 million Americans in 38 states are on alert because of a massive cross-country storm causing extensive travel delays and power outages. From snow as far south as Los Angeles to heavy wind, ice, and blizzard conditions, this storm's got something for everyone. ABC's Jacqueline Lee has more.
This morning, the Minnesota National Guard gearing up, preparing heavy-duty vehicles for rescues in the snow. A winter storm taking shape could make history. More than 2 feet of snow could fall in the Twin Cities. In the West, heavy snow keeping state employees in Utah home today, and authorities issuing an avalanche warning. It comes after 3 hikers were killed in Washington, an avalanche sweeping them about 500 feet down a mountain. The same winter storm is bringing some of the coldest air of the season to California. Ahead of the temperature drop, strong winds hitting the Bay Area, damaging homes and knocking down power lines. And on the East Coast, a rare event for February, a possible tornado causing extensive damage in southern New Jersey.
And then it got real dark, and then things started. I never seen the wind blew like I did.
At this apartment complex, dozens of trees uprooted, the roof split open, and cars smashed.
The wind started blowing at our sliding door over here, and then my wife and my one son were home with me, and then we just went into the bathroom, and then like 30 seconds later, my car's destroyed. It was over.
Jacqueline Lee, ABC News, New York.
All right, back here at home, obviously, we are dealing with an AccuWeather alert day here. Let's get right over to Tracy so she can tell us about the timing of what to expect here at home.
Hi there, Val. Good morning to you. And you know, we have had some icy conditions across some of our southern suburbs. I'm seeing some reports of this coming out of the Weather Service office and especially over into northwest Indiana. But primarily, we've had not a lot of precipitation around here. We're going to see much more as we get closer to 8 o'clock this morning. Rain, icy mix likely here as we go through the morning. This afternoon brings times of rain, possibly even a few thunderstorms. The freezing rain and sleet as far as this afternoon and into the evening is kind of earmarked for the north and northwest suburbs. It slowly diminishes this evening, and I emphasize slowly on that. Here's Futurecast. You can see how here's 11 o'clock this morning, and the precipitation becomes more widespread from the city on south, mainly rain and a cold rain. I want to continue to emphasize the cold, raw nature of this day because of the gusty winds as well. You see, not much of a change in that color off to the north, and this represents the idea that we are going to have some ice accumulation across some of the far northwest suburbs, especially where an ice storm warning is in effect for you in McHenry County. Haven't had something like that since 2019. Meanwhile, heavy rain is going to be more part of the forecast picture south and in northwest India this afternoon. So this morning we have had numerous reports of a mix of precipitation over in northwest Indiana. I want to check with Roz to see if she's hearing of any problems over that way.
You know, we don't have any crashes or incidents, Tracy, which is a good thing because we did have some steady rain in northwest Indiana. But right now we're looking at pretty average travel times, 35 to 40 minutes on most of the expressways between the tri-state and downtown. Now, speaking of the tri-state, look at this big delay here between 55 and 88. That's because they're still working to clear that crash northbound on 294 at the Reagan Tollway. We have a couple other problems we need to talk about. This is new. There's a stall outbound on the Ike at Racine. It's in a lane of traffic, so it is starting to cause some delays for folks coming in off the Kennedy trying to go west on the Eisenhower. There's not a lot of space there. Now, as far as some of the other issues out in the suburbs, this crash, we just got confirmation, is a deadly crash. It's in the Bolingbrook area, and they have shut down Joliet Road between 55 and International Parkway. Also, the exit ramp to Joliet Road coming off southbound 55 is closed as well with the ongoing investigation. We've got one new crash to tell you about. This is going to be in Elgin. It's on Randall Road at Joy Lane, and wow, southbound Randall, it's backed up all the way to 72. Northbound is backed up as well. Definitely an area to avoid right now. Val and Terrell.
All right, Roz, thank you. Neighbors in Little Village say a leaked report from the city's inspector general finds fault with several city departments over the botched demolition of a smokestack. The demolition was in April of 2020. People who live near the site say the dust and debris has caused lasting respiratory problems. Both the inspector general and mayor's offices say the report should not have been leaked. A deadly crash in the south suburb shuts down the Bishop Ford Freeway during rush hour last night. It happened around 6 p.m. on the eastbound I-80, I-94 ramp in South Holland. Illinois State Police say the driver of an SUV was going the wrong way when it hit a semi-truck head on and then hit another car right after. The driver of that SUV was pronounced dead. No other injuries were reported. A FedEx driver has been cited by Chicago police for a deadly crash in the South Loop. The driver hit and killed a 72-year-old woman, Marcia Frankel, as she crossed at Roosevelt and Wabash using a walker Monday evening. Police are citing the driver for failing to exercise due care for pedestrians. FedEx previously released a statement saying it was cooperating fully with authorities. Still to stream this morning, Chicago's Pullman Porter Museum has big plans for expansion. Ahead, we're talking about an event in a few days to help realize that dream.
Eyewitness News streaming at 7 continues after a break.
This is new this morning. The McHenry County Board has passed a resolution opposing Illinois' new assault weapons ban. The board voted 11-6 in favor of the resolution. Calls on the state legislature to repeal the law. The McHenry County State's attorney has already filed a lawsuit challenging the ban, claiming it is unconstitutional.
Illinois State Lottery officials say sales revenues are at an all-time high. According to the Daily Herald, sales from July through September hit $1.8 billion. That translates to $468 million in state revenue to help fund public education. Lottery officials credit $2 billion lottery jackpots for the increase in sales. That'll do it.
That will do it. Great news for public education, bad news for broke folks and my family,
right,
who are going out to buy these tickets.
And not winning.
Yeah, exactly. And as we celebrate Black History Month, the Pullman Porter Museum is getting ready for this gala this weekend. The event will help raise money for an expansion. The museum was created 28 years ago to honor the first Black labor union. The additions will include wings named for Jesse White and the Reverend Jesse Jackson. The Gentle Warrior Awards fundraiser is coming up this Saturday. And a party night last night at the Chicago Cultural Center celebration. It's a new exhibition on African-American philanthropy. It's called Giving Back, the Soul of Philanthropy, reframed and exhibited. Features artwork, photographs, narratives, music, and poetry. The exhibition runs through April 30th.
Oh, that looks cool.
It does, right?
All right, right now we're going to join our Good Morning America viewers. Tanya Babbage will have a news update on TV, and just a bit you'll see it here as well.
And when we come back this morning, more on the annual luncheon that's celebrating Black History Month. That's on the way.
Now, an update from ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Good morning. It is 7:23. I'm Tanya Babbage. The Chicago area is bracing for some rough weather today. We have a live look at downtown right now. Calm so far, but that'll change. Tracy Butler now on this AccuWeather Alert Day.
Hi there, Tanya. Good morning to you. And this morning, we are starting with a look at the radar because it is showing how we have had a little bit of a mix of precipitation in northwest Indiana through the morning hours. Heavy rain, however, down toward Rensselaer. But then we get out to some of our far west suburbs, and we're starting to see a little bit of rain as well as a mix, especially as you get back toward DeKalb this morning. So throughout the morning hours, the conditions are going to get a little worse, certainly before they get better. I think the afternoon hours are going to be more impacted with very heavy rain, and some very icy conditions will progress into those north and northwest suburbs through the afternoon. Add to all of this, it is cold, it is raw. It is temperatures that are in the mid-30s across much of the area right now. This afternoon, however, they'll just kind of hang out in the mid-30s. The exception will be the far northern suburbs where your temperatures will be low 30s and upper 20s, and that's why you're more apt to get some icy spots. We'll take a break, Roz, after this.
Now's the time for a healthy start. So let's move. Let's rest and recharge. And put our health first. Let's be well. To do that, let's eat well. Breathe deep. Find joy in the little moments. And do what we love with who we love. Together, let's live well. Advocate Aurora Health.
Welcome back, everybody. We've got travel times anywhere from 35 to 50 minutes. That's going to be on the Kennedy. And this long delay northbound on the tri-state approaching I-88 is because crews are still working to clear a crash from one of the ramps there. So I may want to use a detour for the time being. We have a little bit more information about this deadly crash in Bolingbrook. Southbound Joliet Road is closed between I-55 and International Parkway. It was a stalled vehicle. People got out of the car. Another vehicle came and struck one of those people, one of those persons, and subsequently killed them.
It was awful.
Yes.
Man. Some of the news that we've been talking about here lately, and I don't know if even you know at home, that stuff does weigh on us.
Incredibly.
Talking about this kind of thing day in and day out. But anyway, weather to get to this morning. Tracy will talk about what's on the way, and you see the choppy waters out there, more on the snow. No. Ice and rain in that forecast here in just a
Not
little bit.
that S-leather word.
Yeah.
Well, ABC 7 hosted our annual Black History Month luncheon at the DuSable Black History Museum and Education Center. The president and CEO talked about the museum's rebranding and its mission. This all happened yesterday. ABC 7's Jose Sanders and our very own Cheryl Burton sharing some of the important stories that we've been telling this month. And you won't want to miss our special celebration of Black History Month called Our Chicago Spirit and Perseverance. It airs this Saturday at 6 with an encore presentation at 11 p.m. on Sunday night.
You worked on that show?
Yes, a lot of great stories out of that show. So you definitely want to watch it. There is a Black love story about the Notebook. Like, if you've seen the Notebook, which I have not. Have you seen
It's been a minute.
Okay.
I just know that people are crying, kissing in the rain. That's the only scene I know.
But yeah, that, and then of course I take you a little bit south to Indiana to Mael Organics, where Monique and Melvin Rodriguez have built an empire, literally from her basement to an empire. So lots of great stories on this special that will be this weekend, and then it'll repeat on Sunday just in case you miss it on Saturday.
Yep, celebrating Black History Month. When we come back, going to check in with Tracy and Roz for an update on weather and travel times this morning. A lot to talk about there. We'll be right back.
You're watching ABC 7 Eyewitness News at 7, streaming live now.
All right, let's get a look at top stories that we're watching for you now. Bottom of the hour, and CPS is implementing a 3-year, $76 million plan. $76 million for new security cameras. 331 elementary and high schools throughout Chicago will get new or upgraded security cameras as part of CPS's comprehensive safety initiative. The announcement comes after a high-profile shooting outside Benito Juarez High School back in December. 2 teenagers were killed outside the school.
The Chicago Elections Board opens their new early voting sites today. They're at Chicago State University, Northeastern Illinois University, and the University of Chicago. Hours are 10 to 5 today through Friday.
And today is Ash Wednesday, marking the start of the Lenten season for some Christians around the world. Live look right here, Holy Name Cathedral in Chicago. There's Cardinal Blaise Cupich right there, leading this special Ash Wednesday Mass.
All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome back. I am Val Warner.
And good to be with you this morning. I'm Terrell Brown. Let's go outside. Weather is all the talk today. And so we got the clouds out there now. I mean, we had rain. It was raining when I was on the way into work this morning. So Tracy kind of got round one moving through now, and then the big stuff later on.
Yeah, you know what, and I know a lot of folks may be trying to get to their home churches to receive ashes today, and the weather is going to make it maybe a little bit more challenging for us. Now through the noon hour, we are going to continue to see more of a wintry mix moving in and developing along with rain. There have been some icy spots reported over in northwest Indiana, so caution here. But I put the big X there for this afternoon, even into this evening, as I think we're going to get more in the way of heavy rain, more in the way of freezing rain and sleet, especially north and northwest suburbs. And as far as the precipitation diminishing, that doesn't happen probably until later this evening, and it's very slow. Roz?
We're seeing a lot of increases in volume right now, especially on the Kennedy, which is about 55 minutes from O'Hare into downtown. But everything else is averaging about 45. And we've got this big delay continuing on the northbound tri-state from the Stevenson up to the I-88 ramps while crews are still working to clear this crash. It's been there for the better part of an hour. We also have Storm Tracker Live stuck in traffic. They are heading inbound on the Bishop Ford Freeway. And boy, there was a big delay coming around that curve there at Stony Island, making their way to the Dan Ryan. So it's a slow morning. Did they get off the expressway? I think they did. I don't know. It's hard to tell, but they were sitting.
It's looking at Stony this morning.
Yeah, they had to do what they had to do.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Ross, thank you so much. I want to get to what we're talking about this morning, and we're going to start with Will Smith. In a recent TikTok video, it looks like the actor is poking fun at himself in the 2022 Oscars controversy. In a video posted Monday, Smith seemed to make a joke about the controversy that he stirred at the ceremony. Of course, he jumped up on stage and slapped comedian Chris Rock. And now back to this video. You see Will Smith right there. He's watching like a TikTok video and responding to it. And this woman here is talking about like how you can pick up a pen and that pen will tell you what it thinks about you, or money. You hold that money and look at it, that money will tell you what it thinks about you. So then he looks over and then he picks up his Oscar and then it cuts to black. As in like, what would the Oscar say or think about him? So the question this morning, is it, he's joking on himself, picking on himself in the controversy. Is it too soon?
It's been a year.
Yeah.
I think it's too soon.
You do think it's too soon?
No, I don't.
You don't?
Yeah, it's been a year.
It has been a year.
Yeah, it'd be different if it was like a month
just
after
happened.
it happened.
Yeah.
It's been a whole year. I mean, we're about to have the Oscars
again,
next
right?
weekend, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not this weekend, but next weekend.
Yeah.
So
I would hate to be in a situation where I've apologized for something and the world keeps holding it over my head.
Ooh,
and
child.
And I have been guilty. I've sat on this sofa and I have said my piece about this situation over and over again. I do think it's time.
Yeah.
It's time to let it go, right? And
yeah, 2 Sundays from now, excuse me. So that's the 12th.
Yeah.
March
Yeah.
12th.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've lived that life too before, where
something's happened.
You've said,
I've said I'm sorry,
and genuinely, like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But that person cannot let it go.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta let it go. Like, forgiveness is for you, not for the other person.
Exactly. Right. Now, I
not to get on my soapbox,
but I really would like to hear from Chris Rock at some point about this.
It's gotta happen. Wait, we haven't heard from him.
Yeah, he's not said, and that's why I think this thing keeps lingering. If Chris Rock came out tomorrow and said, you know what, y'all, let's
he's
kind of
like addressed it in his stand-ups, and so I guess maybe he feels like it's enough. Maybe he doesn't even want to deal with it
anymore.
He's tired of it.
Yeah,
because it overshadows the talented guy that he is.
Exactly.
Because now everybody wants to talk about that, and he's like, I'm more than
I'm here.
I'm more than a slap.
Yeah. So all right. So we'll be watching. We'll see.
All right. Next to a TikTok by 2 celebrity daughters that ended getting crushed by their A-list moms.
Yeah, talking about Kim Kardashian's daughter, Northwest, and Mariah Carey's daughter, Monroe Cannon. So here's that video. Get out of here, mama.
Well, notice which daughter is doing the pushing.
Kim's?
Yes. Excuse me, this was down the wrong pipe.
Oh, I thought you were coughing for a hidden message. Oh, okay.
No,
So
look at this video, seriously.
Right. Right. And then, yep. So the moms crashed the party using hairbrushes as microphones.
That's
the daughters.
cute.
It is cute.
It's cute.
So are Mariah and Kim friends?
I guess
like that was
so.
my whole. I'm like, why were they? Because that was at Kim's house.
Was it Kim's house?
It was Kim's. Yeah.
Oh,
out
the
in
house
Hollywood.
was nice.
Yes, I have been. Yeah, it's a beautiful home, by the way. Let me tell you.
It looked nice. I wanted to see more of the house. I'm like,
Right?
what hallway is this?
Yeah, like cathedral ceilings.
I thought it was in a museum.
Oh no.
That's her house.
That is her.
Can you imagine
house.
Oh my goodness, we can talk about houses right now.
That's just a hallway in it too. That wasn't even like the whole joint.
I want to see it.
Wait until you see the kitchen, the basement, the bedroom. Oh yeah, it's
You've
awesome.
seen it?
Oh yeah, I've been all through that house. And I go way back. Okay?
Yeah, I think like when you're in Hollywood and you're A-list celebrity, I think they all like run the same circle.
Yeah.
So they probably saw each other out like, oh my God, our girls should get together for a play day.
Come on over. Okay.
And then the next thing you know.
Then it's that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know, that little Northwest.
It's just something else, right? I haven't seen any of the other kids. I've only seen North. Have you seen any of the other ones?
No,
Yeah.
I've never seen anything from Monroe or.
The
other Kardashian
Your
kids?
Kardashian kids, yeah.
No, she's the oldest and she's spunky.
Mm-hmm. She sure
She's
is.
spunky. I just put it this way. Somebody sent me a TikTok video that she was doing with her mother, Kim. And I think Kim was trying to like comb her hair. And you know those combs that have the skinny, the rat tooth?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So she snatched that out of Kim's hand and went like this. Like jokingly, but I just was like
that's not a joke.
Right.
Yeah, that's a little.
Or just snatching anything from my mama would have gotten me slapped. Yeah. Hello.
Better than. Speaking of slaps, we're over it. Right over it. Yeah, there were certain
things that you just didn't do or say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I'm not old school, but there are some old school values that I still
respect.
Yeah.
S-P-E-C-T.
Yeah. I don't know.
I also I legit feared my mama. And you know what I mean? It wasn't like a.
Me too.
It was like a respect. But I
know exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
you mean.
I'm even having a hard time talking about it. Like I just wouldn't
do that.
You didn't, right?
Yeah,
right.
You talk
and she was
back.
a smaller woman, but I feared that my mom could literally kill me.
Yes.
You know?
She wouldn't.
Yeah.
For the
Right.
record, but
I mean,
right. No.
she would joke. Yeah, but I will go to jail behind you if you talk to me like that again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Brought you in. I'll take you out.
That's right. She said it all the time.
Yeah, but I think that is not to be getting all deep, but that's the problem with this generation right now.
I agree.
No, these kids and all of this stuff that we report about on the news, they don't have any fear of person, let alone family, parents. If there are two parents in the home, there's no fear. Yeah. That's why they're able to be so brazen and doing the things that they're doing and having everybody like us scared to go out at night.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And I don't know what the solution is to that.
Well, I think you need to be a parent instead of trying to be a
child's friend.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and that's not happening. It's not happening. It's so sad, though.
Yeah.
And to think about, like, my husband works in that area where he has to help these kids who are 14 to 24 who've lost their way. And some of the stories that he comes home and tells me about, a client or a potential client or somebody that came in that's looking for, they're looking for guidance.
Yeah.
They're looking for it. So they have to come to these folks who that's what they do for a living, right? But when he hears the backstories as to where they are, it's like, dang.
Right.
Wow.
It's sad.
It is.
It is. I looked forward to getting to the point with Sarah, who is 27, where we can be friends now.
Yes.
I can still be a parent.
Of course.
Still her mom, but we can also do things as friends. But it wasn't always like that, and it shouldn't have always been like that.
Right. Absolutely.
Well, now y'all are both adults too.
Yeah.
She's
we're both
grown.
crazy adults.
Well, then I must be right behind you because I got one on my ears too, and she's not quite. We're right. We're
in
very
between.
near what you're.
Between,
It's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming. Like she said to me, she's like, "Ma, you're my best friend." I was like, "Oh," because she tells me
everything.
A lot,
Yeah.
Which
is really great that you have that
That
relationship.
is valuable.
It is good,
Yeah.
but then sometimes it's like, oh boy, what do I say? How this? Like one time she asked me, "Can we talk about your college experience?"
Oh, Lord.
I said, "When you get 30." I said, "We're not that friendly yet.
Right,
You are not gonna know about what Mama did when she was in college, because she's living those days,
Right,
and she's having
exactly.
the time of her life." She's like, "Let's talk about. I went out last night. Blah blah. What did you do, Mama?" I'm like,
Not right now.
Not now.
Yeah.
I don't want you to think you have a license.
Tell me.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll tell you. I want to know.
That's right.
Oh, I'll tell you. You will know where the bodies are buried.
Grown
There's
folk
always a
talk.
little saint.
Right. That's right. With the halo and all. That's all they need to know right now.
Y'all better get away. That lightning's about to come.
Hey, before we get out of here, we want to talk about this study about the 4-day work week. A way for bosses that want to keep their employees productive. So 3,000 people were part of a 6-month project in the UK. Employees report in terms of mental health, sleep, and stress, and the benefits. We're all there. Company 35% increase in revenue on average. 15% of employees said no amount of money could go back to them working 5 days a week.
They got to start thinking about this. Think about the people who are working from home right now.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's not coming into the office 5 days a week, and
No.
we're not even doing it here.
No. I think where it is possible and it can be done, and we've proven in the pandemic that it can be, let's do it. Let's do it. Why not?
All right, we just determined on the couch. We've made
We have made the decision.
So who's
That's
not
right.
going to be here Friday?
Eyewitness News, streaming out loud. We'll be right back in 90 seconds.
Good morning. Precipitation is beginning to overspread the area right now. Now, we kind of had an initial batch that focused attention on the southern suburbs and northwest Indiana, where we had several reports of a mix of precipitation there. Now we're starting to see more development west and even north of potentially an icy mix. So heavier rain, as you can see, down toward Rensselaer. But out in Naperville, we're starting to get reports of just a cold rain off to the north. The atmosphere trying to get colder and bring in kind of an icy mix. So if you're up around Wilmette or Winnetka, you may even be seeing some sleet pellets there too. 35 degrees right now at O'Hare, 35 at Midway, 31 right now in Woodstock, and 32 degrees currently in DeKalb. A windy and raw day is what we have out there for us today. And we are going to see that heavy rain continuing to develop during the afternoon and evening commute. In fact, I think that commute is going to be far worse than what we are dealing with around the area this morning. Temperatures are going to stay steady, primarily low to mid 30s around the area today. Tomorrow, the winds are going to get even stronger around the area. We'll hit the mid 40s tomorrow morning, but then those temperatures will be dropping off. Still calling it an AccuWeather alert day. Roz?
Yeah, we've got a lot of issues going on right now, so I'm going to start with the big picture. We've got travel times anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour 5, and we also still have this horrible delay on the northbound tri-state from about LaGrange Road on up to 88. With that crash, they're still trying to clear up on the ramp there. What's happening is people who can't go northbound on the tri-state, they're shifting over using 355, so now we're seeing delays there. We've got a couple of stalls mixed into these backups on the expressways. One's inbound on I-57 at 111th. We've got one inbound on the Eisenhower in the area around Western Avenue. And then we've got this deadly crash investigation in Bolingbrook that has southbound Joliet Road closed between the Stevenson I-55 and International Parkway. And what's happening there, because they also have the southbound 55 exit ramp to Joliet Road closed, it's causing a bottleneck on 55 in both directions approaching Joliet Road. It's going to be a messy morning out there. Val and Terrell.
Alrighty, Russ. Thanks for keeping us posted. When we come back, Boulevard of Bold Dreams, a play about the first black performer to win an Academy Award. And Chicago is the first to see this on stage. Jose Sanders will tell us how this all happened.
Stay with us. We're back in 90 seconds.
What's wrong with that bear? Shoot it, man! Bear, speed up! Get higher, baby, and don't ever come down.
What in the world?
I don't know.
Last night, the red carpet was rolled out in LA for the world premiere of Cocaine Bear.
What?
Yeah, the wild story, very loosely based on the true story of a bear who finds a discarded drug package in the woods. And stars O'Shea Jackson Jr., director Elizabeth Banks, gave a hint at what fans can expect.
I think you want to feel fresh and feel like you're offering people something familiar enough so they're not like, what the heck is this? But also something with enough surprises and twists that they don't see it coming.
I hit the former. What the heck is this? So, Cocaine Bear will hit theaters this weekend.
I wonder if Richard Roper's going to review that this week.
Yeah, I wonder. That's a good question.
I wonder.
That's a save or a spend?
Oh, it is. Okay, so Richard Roper. So when we get back together next week, I'll tell you what he said on Friday, because I'm curious what he's going to think about that. I don't know.
I know.
Okay, well, Judge Mathis won't be back on the bench in Chicago, but he's not putting away his robe after all. His long-running show that was produced right here in town has just been canceled, but Mathis has already been signed for a new series called Mathis Court with Judge Mathis. The new program will be based in Los Angeles.
We have to figure out
How
how
to
to
keep
keep
stuff
our
here?
shows
I know.
in Chicago. What the heck is going on?
I don't know.
Steve
Steve
Harvey
Harvey?
went out there?
Yep.
Yeah, Mathis is out there?
Yeah.
How do we I'm going to work on that, Val. We're going to work on that.
Ooh, now you're talking. And then how about, you read this earlier in the newscast. Oh, shoot. Okay, we got to go. I can't stop talking.
We're counting down to the Oscars during Black History Month. Boulevard of Bold Dreams makes its world premiere on the Timeline stage here in Chicago.
The play is inspired by Hattie McDaniel, the first black performer to win an Academy Award.
Yeah, the playwright and leading lady talked to our Jose Sanders about this story of aspirations that flourish against all odds in Hollywood.
Is that seeing yourself up there is something powerful. It can sway the minds of folk to believe something they ain't never seen before. That's the power of film.
Boulevard of Bold Dreams imagines Hattie McDaniel slipping into a cocktail lounge in the hotel where the Oscars will be presented. She's not even allowed to sit with the Gone with the Wind cast. Gabrielle Lott Rogers, who grew up in Chicago's Hyde Park, savors this part.
I think that she would be proud of it, and I think that she will get the flowers that she's due, because I don't believe we talk about her enough. She was a pioneer in so many areas.
I sincerely hope I shall always be a credit to my race and to the motion picture industry.
Why do you think this piece is so important today?
Here now, we're still fighting discrimination. We're still fighting the lack of representation in our art on television and on stage. You know, it's a lonely walk to be the first of anything, to break through that wall, that ceiling, and make it possible for other people.
Playwright LaDarian Williams came to Hollywood from Alabama with talent and goals, but ended up living in his car.
It was very hard, and there was times where I was just like, I want to give up. And I actually remember working at Target, and Viola Davis came in my line, and that was a very dark day for me, and like just seeing her like just right there all regular, you know, and so I was like, okay, this is a sign, right? Just to keep going.
Photos at the theater honor black artists who've won Academy Awards.
It wasn't until seeing Barry Jenkins and Tyrell Alvin McCraney win that Oscar, and I was like, I know I can do it. And seeing, because imagery is so powerful, especially when you see people look like you on stage getting that Oscar award. So I've always dreamed of that since I was a kid.
How does it feel now to see your dream coming true?
We all go through those storms of no's, but it just takes one yes. One person to believe in you, and that can change your entire trajectory in your career or your personal life. So yeah, I'm just really grateful for Timeline for giving me that simple yes.
You went through some real tough times yourself. What kept you from giving up?
Belief and courage and faith. Sometimes it wavers. A day of grace. Just give yourself grace.
Jose Sanders, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
In a sea of no's, all it takes is one yes.
One yes.
Somebody needs to hear that. We're back in 90 seconds.
Eyewitness News streaming at 7 continues after a break.
So more and more precipitation is beginning to expand around the area right now. We have a combination platter of some rain as well as some freezing and sleet anticipated. So very freezing rain is probably the most dangerous type, honestly, of precipitation. It just seems like rain is falling, then it ices up like that.
Yeah.
So we are going to have some incidents of that today.
Got it.
All right, for Tracy and Roz, I'm Val Warner.
And I'm Terrell Brown. Thank you so much for watching. I want to go back out to Holy Name. Taking a look at the Ash Wednesday services that are going on there right now. Updates on weather and traffic. Big day today. We're going to hear from Tracy and Roz in just a moment. For all of us here at ABC 7, I'm Terrell Brown. Have a great morning, everybody. See you back here tomorrow.